This is Oba Babatunde from SWAT. What's taking you so long to get to us?
Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our Patreons, Irene, Bev, and Michael. If you haven't heard of Patreon before, it is a great way to support us and keep us running and improving. You pick a membership tier that suits you and your budget per month, and in return for supporting us, we'll give you behind-the-scenes content and free stuff. You don't have to give much either. You can be a part of our Patreons for as little as $4 a month. Just visit patreon.com/Rave It Up. You can even donate through PayPal if you don't trust other sites. You can do so just through our email, raveituptv@gmail.com. Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and I'm privileged to be here today with singer Lara Nakhle, who you may remember from The Voice in 2017. Hi, Lara.
Hi.
How are you going today?
I'm good. How are you, Lauren?
I'm fantastic. I've been so excited for this for quite some time now to chat about your career, and I'm also very privileged to also be in her house today. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks for coming. I'm really excited.
It's a gorgeous house too. We've got a beautiful Christmas tree in front of us that the camera can't see, but maybe I'll take a photo of it later. How long have you lived here for?
I've lived here for about 12 years, I'm pretty sure.
12 years, wow.
Yeah, so since 2010.
Has everything kind of been tailored for you in some way, or you kind of just memorize where everything is?
No, I just know where everything is pretty much. Like, I learnt the layout of the house as soon as I moved here. And yeah, like, it's pretty much stayed exactly the same, although we did have the house renovated a few years ago.
Then you had to re-memorize it all?
No, just like some parts of it, and we changed the carpet to tiles and floorboards. But yeah, just things like that. Oh yeah, and we knocked a wall down as well.
Something small. Just knocked a wall down. Are you a messy or clean person as well? This house is very clean.
Oh, I'm a very clean person, although my room is a little bit messy.
That's all right.
But
I won't go in there.
My mum's a perfectionist. So
that's why the house is so clean. Mum's always at work cleaning it. Well, I'm also very touched and blessed to do an interview with you today, because when I was doing my research on you, I was like, wow, you don't actually have that many interviews up online, to be honest, except for when you were just coming off The Voice.
Yeah. So. I haven't actually gotten to do that many interviews. As you said, after The Voice and when I was on The Voice, I was asked to do a few for magazines, which was pretty exciting. But other than that, I've mainly done interviews with Vision Australia and some other radio stations, but not really like mainstream ones that people listen to. So
that's all right. Well, I'm honored to have you on the show today.
Thanks.
When do you think your last one was? Many years ago?
No, my last interview was actually earlier this year. I did something for SBS Arabic News, and then before...
I did see that on your Facebook. It was pretty cool.
Although it wasn't in English. I know. And then before that, it was... and I had an interview last year on Hope 103.2 about being the ambassador for the Nepean Disability Expo.
Oh, cool.
So that was almost a year ago now. Wow.
Time flies.
It does. It really does fly. It goes so fast.
Well, I hope my interview out of all of them is probably the most casual and fun for you.
Yeah.
We even have a game a bit later on too, which you don't know is coming up.
Okay,
a really fun question-answer game with a bit of a competitive element everyone loves because they want to get to the top of the leaderboard. Sort of like Top Gear.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
So since this is your first time on our show, Lara, we'd love to really get to know you better, and I guess the best way to do that is kind of start from the beginning of your whole music journey to get a good idea of how you've made it to where you are today.
Okay.
So you did discover your love for music at a very young age. You started playing piano at like 2 and then singing shortly after. That's so young.
I know.
So were there any other careers that you actually wanted to pursue when you were younger, or did you even have, what we call like the plan B?
So when I was younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. In fact, I never thought that I would be wanting to do music as a career. It was just more of a hobby, I guess. you know, like I grew up thinking I wanted to be like a school teacher or a vet, or I don't know, at one stage I wanted to be a pilot. Yeah, like there were just so many different things. But like music was just one thing, like one constant thing in my life. And I've always liked music, but I didn't exactly think that I would like grow up to be a singer, although I really wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, don't we all?
But
right?
yeah, like I've had so many hopes and dreams.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You never stop that as well. I think
Yeah.
it's really good as we get older not to get rid of that, you know,
For sure.
passion for just everything, right?
Yeah,
Passion
yeah.
for life. And it's funny you mentioned pilot because you met my dad too. He's a pilot as well. So maybe next time you have a chat to him, he'd be able to, I don't know, feel that love of still planes and everything in you. Not that you'd probably want to still become one since you love all your
this
singing.
was when I was like 5 years old, and I don't know, I must have like seen some sort of like motivational person that came to my school who was a pilot, and they were
Probably.
like, oh, so yeah, this is what it's like to be a pilot. And then, you know, obviously when I grew up, I thought, no, there's no way that I'll ever be able to fly a plane, let alone drive a car.
Yes,
So-
true. Still good to dream though. And were you homeschooled or did you actually go to a
I
proper
went
school as well?
I went to a normal school, yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I went to 2 different primary schools and I went to a high school.
Well, I hear you were unfortunately left out of a few things in school. So was I. Totally relate to that, especially in high school. And singing always kind of helped you de-stress and feel a part of something. Is that kind of what made you fall in love with it?
Yeah, so when I was at school, I was kind of excluded from some particular activities that the teachers didn't really think I could do. For example, PDHPE. I remember there was this time when I was in year 9, I think. Everyone was doing Zumba, and I really, really wanted to participate, but the teacher was like, no, you've got to sit down and do work.
Oh.
And I was just like, but why? Like, it doesn't take much just for the teacher to sort of explain how to do the moves.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and like obviously when they played games like football or just anything that involved a ball, they didn't really make accommodations for me to do those things.
Sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
They should be, you know, they should be accommodating for anybody and everybody. But
Yeah, that's true.
I hope you found it different in, you know, out of school now.
No, of course. But like, I wasn't really a sporty kind of a person anyway. So.
Yeah, neither was I. Like, right now, I love fitness, but yeah, in school, I hated it. I was always trying to get mum to write me a note to get out of PE all the time.
Oh.
And it's funny how times have changed. Anyway. And you've been actually performing around Sydney at talent shows and open mic nights, clubs, and charity fundraisers and competitions since you were
Yeah.
5. Is that correct? That's really, really young.
I guess so. So what happened was, from year 1 to year 2, I was in the Australian Girls Choir.
Wow.
So I mainly just performed with them. But after that, I started having like private singing lessons and piano lessons. So like from when I was 8.5, because my mum sort of just thought maybe I should do solo singing and see how that goes. Because she saw that like when I was in choir, I was always like one of the loudest.
Yeah. You got the talent, so you gotta shine.
Thanks.
You gotta shine.
Yeah, and then like after that, my singing teacher had a concert every year that she wanted all her students to perform at. And then like there were different talent shows and singing competitions that she wanted me to enter. And I guess like it all just kind of started from there, really. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Like 5 years old, I was just thinking about that. I can't even remember what I was doing at 5, let alone what you were doing. That's incredible. Do you ever feel like doing that so young and starting a career off so young took away your childhood a little bit, or are you actually really grateful that you got to start off so early?
Well, honestly, I'm just grateful for all the experiences that I've had since I was little. Like, as I said before, I didn't actually think that like singing from such a young age was going to turn into a career.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just fun because like when I was younger, I didn't even do that many co-curricular activities outside of school. So like it was just music. Oh, I did do swimming lessons for a while,
Oh, cool.
like just during primary because like everyone had to. And that was fun. Like I know how to swim, but just basic.
Don't we all, unless you're passionate about it and want to do more.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was always just music and singing and performing. My friends always did sport, so they didn't really get it. But I'm just so grateful that my parents discovered from when I was younger that I had an interest in music and they decided to let me pursue that.
Yeah, you've got definitely a very big supportive family too. It's really nice to see, and
Yeah, I do.
I'm an only child, and I've got that really supportive family as well that are always like, "Go chase those dreams. Those boring 9-to-5 jobs will always be there. You might as well do what you love, right?"
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's never stopped you. You know, like a lot of people watching today probably remember you from The Voice in 2017
Yeah.
on Team Seal.
Yeah.
I really want to know because I've grown up with Seal. I love him, love his music. What was he like, especially off screen?
Off screen. So really, like, I only got to actually have 2 mentoring sessions with Seal. But like, honestly, it was amazing. In the first mentoring session, so basically for the knockout rounds, we were put into groups of 3, and so each of us had to do a different song. It was like 1 minute of a song, and like, yeah, I remember Seal was just like individually showing each person how we should be singing the song. So like at first I didn't know if I was going to be singing it or singing and playing at the same time, and so he heard me do both and he was just like, "Oh, you know, I think you should do both because you connect more when you're playing."
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, all right. And then after that, he actually did this really weird game where he got me to, so this is when I was just singing it. So, I was standing up and singing the song, and he said, "Oh, you're just not connecting with the lyrics enough, and you don't seem to be like singing it with the right emotion that it needs." So he actually grabbed one hand and then he actually called my mum up on stage. It was pretty embarrassing. But yeah, so he got mum to like grab me with my right hand and like push me backwards when like the emotion wasn't there, and he would push me with my left hand when he thought I was singing it with enough emotion.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I didn't actually think that it helped, but by the end of that session, he said that I was singing it a lot better.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, it must have helped in some way.
Is that still something you kind of take with you to this day when you sing a song?
Yeah, like it is definitely something I think about, especially because like singing is very much based on connecting with what you're singing about and the audience. So like it is something I do tend to think about quite a bit when I'm learning a song. You know, I think, you know, could I be singing that a bit differently? Could I be adding more to it somehow? And I actually record voice memos so that I can listen to it back. I don't like listening to my own voice.
Nobody does.
But yeah, I guess it helps me to know I could improve on.
Yeah, well, definitely, you're amazing today. So you
Thanks.
must have. I mean, you're always amazing, but
Thank
it's always
you.
always can improve here and there, can't we?
There's
Just as
always
human
room
beings.
for improvement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did just see on your social media too, you just finished your last exam at uni, right?
I did.
Congratulations. Is this like the
Thank
end now, or is
you.
that just like the last one for the year? You still got more to go.
So it's the last one for the year. There were actually 2 exams for the whole degree, although the one last year was a bit strange because it was all video uploads. So basically semester 2 of last year was completely online because of COVID. And the exam was supposed to be in person, but they ended up making it like online, just as videos. So I had to upload 16 videos of me doing different tasks on guitar, piano, vocal. The exam I had this semester was pretty much the only like face-to-face one for the whole degree, but I do have a whole more year, a whole extra year to go for this degree,
It'll
and
go
I'll
quickly.
be done. Yeah.
Well, you used to be at Macquarie Uni too for psychology, right? And now
Yeah.
you're at Western Sydney for
Studying creative music therapy.
Do you just love studying? Is that kind of why you've
No.
done 2 courses at 2 different
You know,
universities?
to be honest, I actually don't love studying. So what happened was I started doing my Bachelor of Arts Psychology like when I finished school. So in 2016, that was my first year. I just did it because I didn't really know what to study, to be honest. Like, I knew that I wanted to go to uni and study something, but like I couldn't really see myself doing maths or science or engineering because like they're very visual kind of subjects. And I've always had a passion for like helping other people and like talking with people as well, and like trying to work out, you know, how best to kind of assist them.
That's why you thought psychology.
Yeah, that's why I thought psychology. And then, so I finished that in 2019. It was a pretty challenging degree, but I got through it somehow. Yeah. And then in 2020, I was just looking for work. I didn't really know like what exact job I wanted, because with psych, it's like really varied. There's so many different jobs that you could get. So I was applying for jobs, but then COVID happened. Oh, and I also got my guide dog Maxwell
Yes,
at
he's
the
so
beginning
cute.
of the year. So like I was doing training with him for about 2 months, and I did actually get to the interview stage for some jobs that I applied for, but I didn't get any further than that, because the thing is with psych jobs is that they always want people that have more experience,
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't
and
it?
I didn't have that.
How are you supposed to get experience without
Yeah.
the job? Like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And like I only did one placement when I was actually doing my degree.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really counted.
And then creative music therapy was something that you
Yeah, I've
I
just
guess,
always
connected
liked
with.
music, so I thought, you know, why don't I just study music therapy?
Well, that's exactly
So-
what I thought when I saw psychology. I was like, really? That not music? Like, it seemed a little bit out of your realm that I thought you'd be in. But it's
like
good to see
doing
you in
psych?
it now. Yeah, doing psych.
Yeah, no, because I actually did think of studying music, but then I thought, like, what can I actually do with just a music degree?
Yeah.
You know, like, there isn't as much demand for that as there is for like social workers and like people in the psych kind of field.
Yeah. So what's involved with the creative music therapy? What sort of job do you want at the end of it?
Well, I'd like to be a registered music therapist. That's what ends up happening with most people that study this course.
Didn't even know that was a thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually know much about music therapy because it's just not a very well-known kind of area, I guess. But it is very beneficial for different clients that have various needs. For example, like kids with autism, they're trying to develop their social skills and communication, and like they might have issues with behavior and being able to focus on one activity for a certain amount of time. And like aged care clients can benefit from it as well. So for them, it's more to do with like remembering things. Like there's different goals that people have, and like mental health is another big area in music therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's still a job that you're really paying it forward too when you do get one.
For
so
sure.
Good luck with the rest of the one more year.
Thank you.
Nearly there.
Yes, I was meant to be done this year, but because I started working as well, I decided to put a couple of the units on hold.
Yeah. Good idea. And you've got all the gigs that people book you for as well. You need to make sure you got time for that. You did mention too when we first met that you work at Apple. Is that correct?
I do work at Apple.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
When did you get so knowledgeable about technology?
Well, so I've always liked Apple devices since I got my first iPhone back in 2011. It was a 4S, and I pretty much just taught myself how to use it. Like I had never owned a touchscreen device before, so like I didn't have a Samsung or anything like that. And like I went from just having a Nokia phone for 2 years, which had buttons, to having an iPhone. And like I thought it would be impossible to use, but I pretty much sat down for about 3 hours and taught myself like how to use my phone with VoiceOver, which is the built-in screen reader.
Yeah.
So
It's really cool how far technology's come now. Cause
for sure.
I was even watching your, you did the speech for your university about your day in the life of sort of in your day of life of music. And you were talking about, even you did a talking about your whole life, and then I watched another video of you talking to your old school as well.
Oh wow, you've watched
I
everything.
really have, yes. I told you I did a bit of a stalk.
Yes.
Part of my job. But there's even like digital braille now. I didn't even know that was a thing till I saw that little video.
Yeah, so that video that you saw, I think that was of me demonstrating how to use my braille note. Yeah, that was actually at my first primary school that I went to.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They asked me to come and do a speech a couple of years ago, which was pretty cool. But the braille note basically is just like, I don't know, I guess I would say it's like an iPad, but it's an Android tablet, and like you can pretty much do everything on it that you can do on a computer or a phone, except it has a refreshable braille display. So
that's really cool.
You can like read whatever's in the document. It only shows a few words on each line, and then you need to press a button to make it go to the next line. Yeah.
How often do you use that one?
I don't really use it very often. I mainly just use it for when I'm trying to learn song lyrics.
Yeah.
Because I need to actually read it and sing along at the same time. Otherwise, if the song is easy enough to learn, I'll just look up the lyrics on Spotify as I'm listening to it and like learn it that way by listening to VoiceOver on my phone, saying the lyrics. But it is definitely useful to have the braille note, especially because like for uni there were songs in other languages that I had to learn.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. So if I was to listen to VoiceOver actually like speaking them out, I would just have to read it like by character rather than by word. Otherwise, I'd have no idea how to pronounce some of the words.
You have to show me that digital braille later on. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
If you've still got it around.
And
yeah.
also braille, like using the braille note or just reading braille in general is good for when I'm presenting. Like
And
when I'm doing
speeches.
speeches.
Yeah, I would have thought so, because I'm like,
Yeah.
how else do you memorize that speech? You got a great brain.
I can memorize songs, but when it comes to like speeches, nah.
Nah, yeah,
Nah.
especially when it's your own like life that you're talking about too.
Yeah, yeah.
So your debut original single is titled Love Left Behind.
Yes.
I really wanted to know, why did you want to release this song as your debut like original track? And what was like the inspiration behind it all?
Okay, so that song I actually co-wrote with my vocal coach, Roxanne Kiley.
It's so funny. I know her and her husband too. I was
You
like, what a
know
small
them?
world.
How
Yes.
do you know them?
Through a mutual friend. Went out for coffee with like all of them one day. Yeah.
Oh my
Shout out to them.
goodness.
I haven't seen them for probably 3 years. It was like way before COVID, but yeah, have to try and get back in contact
Wow,
with them.
it's a small world.
I love their kids' books. It was so cute.
Busy Izzy.
Busy Izzy,
They're
yes.
still working really hard on that.
Oh, good.
They're like trying to turn it into a TV show and a
they should.
stage production. They've actually done a few stage shows at different schools.
Oh, cool.
It's-
Go check
yeah.
out Busy Izzy, guys.
Busy Izzy
I'll
and
put the
friends.
link below this video. Sorry, you were saying, yes, co-wrote
Yeah,
it with them.
so I co-wrote it with Roxanne Kiley and Stephen Kiley, who's my piano teacher. I don't have regular lessons with them anymore. I haven't for a few years, but I used to when I was growing up. So, like, they were my first music teachers from when I was 8.5, and I had regular lessons for about 5 years. And then after that, I had lessons with them occasionally, maybe like once every couple of months if I had a major gig to prepare for, things like that. I still do, so that's really good. But basically with this song, like I knew that I wanted to start songwriting. I just didn't know, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have any ideas. And then John Clement, who used to run shows at the Seaforth Bowling Club, asked me to perform at one of them. And so I thought, okay, why not? Because I've never like performed in front of that particular audience. So he asked me to send him through the song list that I'll be doing. And I did. And then he sent me a message saying, oh, hi, Lara. That sounds really good, but I've actually started writing these lyrics for a song that I'm hoping you could like perform. And I thought, oh, okay, so I had a look at the lyrics and I thought, yeah, there's an idea there. It doesn't really seem like a finished kind of song to me, but I decided to show them to Roxanne. And she said, oh, what are these lyrics? And so it was basically like about someone who had a breakup and like just about how they're like feeling really down and they're trying to get over it. And I thought, well, I mean, I don't relate to these lyrics because I've never been in a relationship and I've never experienced what it's like to have a breakup, but you know what, I'll turn it into a song and I'll see how it goes. So Roxanne decided to help me with making those lyrics into Love Left Behind.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And she wanted me to get it recorded, so Stephen recorded me because he's got like a recording studio. It's at their house, actually.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, so we recorded that, and they wanted to enter it into a songwriting competition. And then Roxanne was like, well, Lara, this is actually a pretty good song. Why don't you release it? And I was like, okay. Okay, I
and
don't know.
that was the start of original songs.
Yeah, it was.
Because your second single, OK Cupid, I think I mentioned that the other day,
Yes,
that it
you
was
did.
stuck in my head.
You sang that you were listening to it
I
a
love
lot.
it. I have added it to my liked songs on
Thanks.
Spotify. And
Oh, thank you.
it is a lot like poppier than, you know, your other
Than
stuff.
Love Left Behind.
Yeah, and even some of the covers that you've done as well. You know, you've done Easy on Me by
Yeah.
Adele and Mary Did I Know by Pentatonics. Have you actually listened to the Pentatonics version?
I have.
I love it. They're
It's
gorgeous.
It's so good. Like their
Such a good
harmonies are
song.
just like
Oh, it's
wow.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot more poppier than your other stuff. Did you
Yeah.
have a lot of fun with that? And are you kind of like wanting to do more of that in the future?
Yeah, I definitely do like more upbeat songs. So with OK Cupid, the way that one came about was actually as a joke. So I've never used OK Cupid, but I had a couple of friends who did, and yeah, like they were saying, oh, yeah, I've started using this app called OK Cupid, and I went on a couple of dates, and I was like, oh, all right, well, if it's good, like maybe I should get OK Cupid. So I went home and I was like explaining to my mum about OK Cupid because she hadn't even heard of it before. So I said, Mum, you know, there's this app called OK Cupid where like people can like post some photos and write things about themselves and like answer questions. And I think it would be like a really good way for me to meet someone. So I asked her if I should join, and she was like, no, but maybe you could write a song about it.
Nice, Mom.
So that's how that one came about. I didn't even want the lyrics to be like about me because it's not. But I also co-wrote this song with Roxanne, and she said, oh, Lara, just make it about you and how you're head over heels for this guy, how you found him on OK Cupid and you just love him so much, blah, blah, blah. And like even recording it was actually so difficult because I couldn't get into that vibe.
Yeah,
I
the
was-
mindset of what it's like.
Yeah, because I've never experienced it. So I actually had 3 recording sessions to try and do it until she was finally happy with it. She's okay.
picky.
Don't get me wrong. She's a really good vocal coach, but she is very picky.
Picky is good. That
Yeah.
means you actually put a good product out, right? Yeah. I think you're very, very blessed to have her in your life. And even like you can listen to that OK Cupid song even just by thinking about Cupid as like, can I say the mythical being or whatever? you know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, that was another
the baby
thing.
with the arrows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thought we had when writing the song.
Because that's actually what came to my mind when I first listened to the song, and then oh yes, the app is called that too.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Oh,
It's good to hear the like
and
backstory.
Actually, not long ago, so earlier this year, those 2 friends decided to make me an OK Cupid profile. But I haven't really used it. I haven't had the time, but I've gotten like so many notifications saying, oh, you have another like. You have a super like.
Oh, super like. Oh, congrats.
And like I got messages from people, but I couldn't actually see them because I had to get premium, which is $25. And I thought, no,
how they get
I'd rather just meet someone in real life.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, but I'm hopeful that it will.
Have you gone on any dates?
Not yet.
Girl chat part of the interview?
I still have not been on a date before.
That's all right. Hopefully, I can set you up somehow. Well, yeah, plenty of guys in the dance class.
Yes, yes.
That's another side note for the viewers. She is now starting our dance classes,
Yep.
our Latin dance classes, doing some salsa
Every
and
Wednesday
some
night.
bachata. Yes.
I've had 2 sessions and it's awesome.
She's having so much fun. How are you finding it? Is it a bit intimidating when I say, you know, you've got about 25 people around you?
I wouldn't say it's intimidating, but like it's definitely a different experience because I've never really done partner dancing except for when I was in year 9 at school. So I went to an all-girls school, and we had like guys from boys' schools come, and like we had to do this night where we were doing like
Waltz or
tango,
something.
waltz. It was pretty awkward, I must say, because some of the guys were so short.
Oh, that doesn't help, does it?
And I didn't even know like what to say, but we were only with each one for like less than a minute, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminded me of that, but it's fun.
Yeah, and everyone's very friendly at our
Yeah,
studio too.
yeah.
They're all there to help you, which I love, especially having some of the intermediates there to help you
Yeah.
out. But I've got to say, you've actually made me a better teacher too. Like, I
Really?
didn't realize before you came in, like you've given me a good challenge that I relied so much on people like watching me and kind of mimicking the move that I was doing instead of me actually explaining. Like I would explain it, but not in the way,
Not to
you
the
know,
same extent.
to the same extent that I'm doing with you. You know, like put your weight on your left foot and like, you know what I mean? Turn your body to the right. So thank you very much. You've made me a better teacher.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
yeah.
I'm so happy.
There's always room for improvement, as we said earlier as well. So I've obviously seen you perform live when we did meet at the Lisa Harnham Foundation fundraiser, and also a fundraiser for the community Foundation of Northwestern Sydney. Look at that, she's memorized it. And I don't know about you, even after like years of performing, I still get a little bit nervous, especially before going on
I do
stage.
too.
So
I still get nervous.
I think a lot of people would have a bit of a preconceived idea that if you can't see the audience, you mustn't actually get nervous. But I was actually thinking about it. Does that make it worse? Does that make your nerves worse by not being able to see the audience?
Well, I don't know. Like, I haven't really thought about it that way. Like, for me, it's just about, like, the kind of event that I'm performing at. So, if it's, like, a really big venue and there's a lot of people, I do get nervous. And if it's like, very formal, then, yeah, like, I do feel a little bit nervous before going on stage. But if it's kind of just like a more chill, kind of laid back gig,
Sort of like a wedding or something, or are they even a bit intimidating?
no, weddings are a bit intimidating, especially if it's at like the church ceremony.
Oh yes.
But yeah, like if I'm performing at like other gigs where it's more just for people to do networking and like mingle and like eat and talk, that's fine. But when there's dead silence, it's
and everyone's
literally
looking at you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit intimidating, but you do really well. I'm impressed with how well you do, especially
Thanks.
not being able to see everybody and knowing kind of your spatial awareness of where you are. Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you.
Thank you. I sort of just like generally pick up on the vibe, like when I go to the gig. You know, I might like speak with the organizers beforehand, like just ask them a bit of information about like what the gig is like, what to expect, how big the stage is, and I sort of try and do like I do a sound check usually for most of my gigs. Sometimes I don't if it's just like a small one and if there's not really much time, but that sort of gives me a good idea of like what to expect at a gig, and I guess
you a bit more
from
comfortable.
there I know whether I should be nervous or if it'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
it's just an adrenaline rush for you. Yeah.
But it is actually a good thing to be nervous. I don't like how it feels, but
no, nobody does.
but it means that you care. So
Yeah. Oh, I like the way how you phrase that.
no, because someone actually told me that before, like the week before I was meant to do my uni exam, I was sort of like having a chat with one of the teachers and I said, "Oh, I'm sort of freaking out about the exam. I'm a bit nervous." And she said, "Oh, you know what? It's because you care."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I actually do."
I have had another guest say that, and they phrase it a different way, that if he wasn't nervous, then it means he just doesn't care about it anymore, or he's not putting enough effort into it anymore. So phrased differently, but exactly the same thing. And it's so true. Like, I'm always like, oh, okay, am I nervous? Okay, good. I still care about it. Still want to do a good product, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, many people find you an inspiration, including me. You know, you're an amazing role model, and you never let the fact that you're blind stop you from doing what you want to do. And even like the dance class is a good example of that as well. And I love that about you. So I'd love to get deeper though, now if that's okay.
Yeah.
And talk about something that we, you know, all go through as humans from time to time. And I'm talking about our down days. You know, those days when you get sad and frustrated and things are really hard, and you may even forget about your why, you know, why you're doing things on this earth. And you just want to stop everything and stay in bed and do nothing.
Yeah, I've definitely had days like that.
How do you look after your mental health, especially through days like that?
Well, to be honest, I mean, sometimes I just find it hard to be motivated. Like, you know, there would usually be a reason for me to get to that low point. But I guess what I do when that happens is, you know, I think, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen if I just continue, like, doing what I'm doing? Like, you know, if there's ever a time when I don't really feel like doing something, if I just think, oh, you know, I want to stay home and like not go to work today, like I just think, well, you know, if I get up and go, it'll be over before I know it. So yeah, like that's how I try to think about things. It doesn't always work. Like I did have quite a few stressful things that happened this year with uni and placement. I won't really go into that, but it kind of made me a bit unmotivated, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to keep going, and if like music therapy was even the right thing for me, like, or if I should change my career choice. But like luckily things improved, and yeah, so I guess like the main message that I would say to people that feel down about anything is that, you know, if you're not really having a good day, things do get better.
Yeah, it's just one day. There's a whole nother tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's very true. And I'm sure like even just listening to other people's music probably helps you as well.
For sure.
Kind of uplift you, you know. There's music for every type of mood, which I
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us
Oh,
today.
that's okay.
Hopefully it brightens someone's day up today as well.
Yeah, I also find that going for walks with Maxie helps.
Yes. I can hear him like
And-
walking around. He's near the front door.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, and I go to the gym twice a week.
Oh, good
so,
for you.
Yeah, I have
staying fit.
personal trainer sessions, so that keeps me in shape.
Yeah, now the dancing will too.
Yeah, now the
especially as you get into
dancing
some
will.
harder moves.
Yeah.
So there is something else I want to kind of get deep about today because,
Okay.
you know, I do want to kind of open everyone's minds up today,
Yeah.
whoever's watching or listening to the podcast, that we all unfortunately take things for granted, whether it's our sight or our hearing, even the ability to walk, on our roof over our heads, things like that, food on our table. And I love that you're on the show today to kind of remind people that there's always something to be grateful for, right?
Yeah.
And kind of look at what you already have. Mm-hmm. And I think also that when people think about what it is like to be visually impaired or blind, there's a lot of stereotypes, and I hate stereotypes. I'm sure you do too. So
Yeah.
can you tell us today, what is kind of a day in your life like? Because I've always wanted to know, are you always on high alert and tense because people could come up to you at any moment and even startle you? Like, I'm always very conscious of that. I don't want to just touch your arm just straight away because I'm like, oh my God, is she going to jump? I feel bad.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm always on high alert. I guess it depends on like the situation and the context. So like what I'm doing, like for example, if I'm at work, like I'm lucky that I've got a really good team. So like everyone at work knows that like they're basically they know how to guide me, how to tell me that like I'm approaching a customer. It's really good to have helpful people at work, although, you know, sometimes like if I'm just randomly standing somewhere in the store, they might like a customer might come up to me and be like, "Oh, excuse me," and I might not know that they're actually talking to me.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. But
and they
like,
think that you're ignoring them? I hope not.
yeah, or they might be like, "Oh, excuse me, do you work here?" And then like if no one else has answered, then I think, "Yep, they're talking to me." So I will answer and I'll be like, "Hey, yeah, how can I help you?" And then like usually it's fine from there. So that's with work. If I'm just like out in the community and walking, like there aren't many routes, like travel routes that I'm able to do independently yet. Like I'm learning a few, but I had to put my orientation and mobility sessions on hold for a while because of all my other commitments, but I'll resume that next year. But anyway, on the routes that I do know, sometimes people do stop me. Like when I was at Macquarie Uni, there were quite a few students that would come up to me and be like, "Oh, hi, are you lost?" And I'll just be like, actually, I'm fine, thanks. Like I know where to go, but like I can totally understand why people might think that I'm lost.
Yeah.
Because like I might just look lost, even though like I'm totally confident with knowing where I'm going. But you know, sometimes I have been lost because at uni there's quite a few buildings.
Yeah, I know Macquarie Uni. That was confusing, that place, even for me.
It's very spread out. Like the good thing is there's one main footpath and then like the buildings are just on the sides and there's stairs to get up to them. So I learnt the buildings where I needed to go specifically, but like there were a couple of times when I did get a bit lost, and it was nice when people would approach me and be like, "Oh, do you need help?" And I'm not even the kind of person that would just like naturally reach out and ask for help. But I guess it is something that I have had to learn to do.
Yeah, you want to be independent as much as you can.
Yeah,
right?
especially in like the context of uni, because some documents are not always put into an accessible format for me, which means that like they're not screen reader friendly. So they might have images in them or like text boxes. So they had to be converted. And I've had to advocate a lot for my needs. Like even at Western, where I'm doing the music therapy degree, like I've got a disability advisor and I had one at Macquarie. And when I was at school, I had a vision support teacher. So basically the vision support teacher helped out with a lot of like making sure the teachers knew what I needed, like in terms of documents, like how to format them correctly. But when I started uni, I didn't have that support, so I had to learn to do that myself and communicate with the disability advisor.
And at least in the community, you know, you've got Maxwell and you got your stick as well, which I think
I've got my
help a lot.
cane. Yeah. So
Cane, sorry, wrong,
it's
wrong
okay.
word.
No, it's all good. Everyone gets that confused. They call it a walking stick.
Yeah, I know it's not a walking stick.
Yeah. So I use my cane when I'm out in the community and I'm not walking with Maxwell. Like if it's a route that he's not familiar with. But I'm very lucky as well to have very good support workers from the NDIS that come and like drive me to places.
Yeah.
They help me with like doing things like shopping. They help with taking me to gigs and like unloading the car, like my
that's good.
keyboard and amp. things like that, really. Like, it's just helpful. So
It's the little things, but they really help, don't they? And I really appreciate you kind of giving us a little look into your life today as well.
Yeah,
Kind of really open the eyes up of our viewers and our listeners today.
oh, it's okay.
And, well, I really wanted to know as well, in case anybody watching, listening today, want to find out what you're up to in the future, go follow you on social media, where should we go?
Okay, so I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Although I don't really post on Twitter very much, but on Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at Lara Nakhle Music. So it's LARANAKHLE Music. And on YouTube, just search Lara Nakhle.
Beautiful. I'll put all the links below the video as well for everyone
Cool.
to go follow you straight away.
That'll be awesome.
Before we finish up today, Lara, would you like to play this game that I got you so excited about?
Yes. I've been waiting to hear what that's all about.
So, it's just a quick game. It's just a 2-minute game. So nice and quick.
Okay.
But it is timed, okay? So
Okay.
what your goal is to answer as many questions in 2 minutes as possible. And then when we'll at the end, we'll see where you sit on the leaderboard up against everyone else that's played the game on the show.
Okay.
So to give you a bit of an idea, I know this is a ridiculous number of questions. It was our second time playing it, but the top of the leaderboard's answered 101 questions. in 2 minutes.
Whoa. Okay, so are they like one-word answers?
So it is a kind of, you pick your preference. So,
Okay.
it's questions like singing or dancing. You might have to think about that right now. I know how much you love dancing now. So
I do.
Or,
It's honestly
questions
so
like
fun.
dogs or cats or,
Yep.
cook or clean, things like that. So you want to still give us your honest answer, but
Yeah.
still try to answer as quick as possible, yeah? The second on leaderboards answered 92, so they were very fast.
Yeah.
But, if we were, you mentioned how many Zoom interviews I do do them a lot. Top of that Zoom Rave It Up leaderboard has answered 63 questions.
Okay.
So, we'll try to get you 63. How's that sound?
Sounds
At
good.
least.
I'll try my
Let me get
best.
my stopwatch out. Here we go. You ready, Lara?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay. Get rid of that paper clip. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram,
iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone,
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Rap or rock music?
Is neither an option?
Yes.
Okay, neither.
Pop or country?
Pop,
Cook or clean?
cook,
Beach or mountains?
beach,
Comedy or action?
comedy,
Blondes or brunettes?
blondes,
Sweet or salty?
sweet,
Mac or PC?
Mac,
Singing or dancing?
both,
Dogs or cats?
dogs,
Italian or Chinese food?
Chinese,
Summer or winter?
summer,
Jennifer Lopez or Scarlett Johansson?
I don't know, Jennifer Lopez,
Johnny Depp or Will Smith?
Johnny Depp,
Mall or online shopping?
mall,
Cinema or home movie?
both,
Ice cream or gelato?
gelato,
Cake or cookies?
cookies,
Coffee or tea?
tea,
Christmas or your birthday?
Christmas,
Night or day?
day,
Bus or train?
bus,
Straight or curly hair?
straight,
Eye color blue or brown?
blue,
Driver or passenger?
passenger,
Texting or calling?
texting,
Sydney or Melbourne?
both,
Friday or Saturday?
Friday,
TV or movies?
TV,
Movies or books?
movies,
Snow or surf?
snow,
Dress or skirt?
dress,
Harry Potter or Twilight?
Twilight,
Family Guy or The Simpsons?
The Simpsons,
Burger or pizza?
burger,
Tomato sauce or barbecue sauce?
barbecue,
Sneakers or thongs?
sneakers,
Leather or denim?
leather,
City or country?
city,
Biting your nails or picking your nose?
oh my gosh, neither,
Pants or shorts?
shorts,
Tattoos or piercings?
piercings,
Backpack or suitcase?
backpack,
Ice cream or chocolate?
chocolate,
Pen or pencil?
pen,
Mum or dad?
mum,
Headphones or speakers?
headphones,
Book or magazine?
book,
Photo or video?
video,
Apple or orange?
apple,
Fruit or vegetables?
fruit,
Chocolate or strawberry?
chocolate,
Chocolate, dark milk or white?
milk.
And we're out of time. I love how I said mum or dad just as dad walks in.
Oh,
He's walked out now. He's like, oh, he's feeling sad now.
oh no.
How many questions do you think you answered in that time, Lara?
I don't know, maybe like 40?
Ooh, I'm happy to say more than that.
Really?
You've answered 56 questions.
Oh.
So you were sitting, let me look, Number 32 on the whole Rave It Up leaderboard, but out of Zoom interviews, number 5. So I know this isn't a Zoom interview, but
So 32 all up.
32
how
all
many? How many have you played this game with?
168 people.
Oh, well, that's kind of not bad.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
No, it's good. You're definitely over half, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
When you put it in that perspective, it's better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we are unfortunately getting to the end of the interview now, Lara. This has been a lot of fun and great to get to know you a little bit better. We've only ever really either been together with dance classes or we've been, on stage.
Yeah.
As a closing statement, it was probably the most important question here on Rave It Up. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
I would probably tell my 14-year-old self that, like, it's okay to have down days sometimes and that, things will get better, and, like, to always believe in yourself and to, like, keep having hope for the future.
Yeah, I love that. It's good advice for all our young listeners too. And thank you so much for coming on our show today, Lara.
Thanks
I know
so much
we've been
for
here
having me.
quite a long period of time, but I didn't want to stop you. You were giving us gold.
Oh, thanks so much.
You're welcome on any time, all right? I would love to have you on again in the future, especially if there's, some... Do we know if there's a bit of, like, tour or album or anything coming up?
Well, not in the near future, but I'm hoping to start working on writing songs for an album.
Oh, awesome. Well, keep us up to date, okay?
I definitely
You're welcome
will.
on whenever that happens, or even just for another huge girl chat. Thank you, Lara.
Thanks, Lauren.
And for our audience, make sure to go follow Lara. You can also even follow Rave It Up or even at Hills Latin Dancing if you want to get some updates on Lara's amazing dancing. I'm sure Lara will probably post it as well. But for now, thank you for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. Wave goodbye, Lara. Woo!
Bye.
Bye.